So hey guys, we're gonna be reading creepy guy stories today. So let me just get right into the video then. So basically these are some, so it says we asked the women on the BuzzFeed community to share their creepiest and most shocking nice guy stories. Here are the experiences that prove why women constantly feel on edge. So I've read a few of these, like the first two. So they seem pretty good, so we're just gonna get into it. No, I don't want that commercial. No. Stupid computer. Okay, so this first one. I joined a singles activities group after a bad breakup, so obviously everyone there was single. I met a guy who was nice, but I wouldn't date him, that's how it always starts, that a girl won't date them and they get upset. Well, he wasn't getting the hint and started texting me nonstop throughout the day. I'm talking every 10 minutes. I would kill him, honestly. Sorry. Even though I never responded. Then he even went farther and started texting me things like, "Good morning, I'm passing by my place of employment on my way to work and thinking of you." Again, I wouldn't answer. One day I was at work and looking from my computer to see him standing in the lobby and staring at me. I went to the back and told my manager what was going on, and luckily I was allowed to sit in the employee room for a while until someone came to get me once he finally left. About 20 minutes later, my best guess is that he was waiting for me to come back out and finally got tired of waiting. I ended up blocking his number and dropping out of the group because I had so much anxiety about having to see him again. I had so much fun in the group, but I don't know if I'll ever join one again because of that experience. Which I do feel bad, like, I'm so sorry this guy was being so creepy to you. Let me just get a drink real quick, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that you are not going to join another group because this guy decided to be a creep. It's like, she's not interested in you, leave her alone, buddy. And I've been listening to so many stories here on YouTube with creepy guy encounters. So it's like, I don't know if I ever want to be around another guy again. I'm just kidding, but you know what I mean. Like, guys are just, not all guys, but a lot of guys are just so creepy. And I've had some creepy experiences too, which I made like a little bit of a video. I haven't uploaded it yet, but I filmed it like a while back. Like last week or 2 weeks, I don't know, ago. So let me just get back into it. I'm sorry for sidetracking. I went on a date with a guy who brought me lunch after a midterm in grade school. Basically, he showed up at my office and all of my colleagues thought it was sweet. So even though he asked me like 30 times to go out beforehand, I guess I felt like I owed him something after everyone told me how nice he was, or how nice that was. You don't owe a guy anything, ladies. So if you're listening and a guy buys you lunch or whatever, or a drink, you don't owe him anything. You don't have to give him anything. And again, I'm sorry for getting sidetracked, but it's just the God honest truth. You don't owe him anything. And I know I keep looking this way. It's because I'm reading off the computer, so I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to look into the camera, but it's kind of hard. Okay, so we went out, and I still found him super creepy. I texted him after that I'd prefer to just be friends. I got no reply, but a lot of weird calls at random hours and felt that someone was following me home from the bus stop. I never saw anyone behind me, so I figured I was just being extra cautious. Excuse me. And I just want to give a trigger warning. There is talk of assault in the story. I did read a little bit of it, so I'm sorry that I forgot to mention that. I only read like a few of these beforehand to see if they were good. But yeah, there's assault coming. So if you're triggered by that, I would skip this part. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this freaking lid back on. Anyway, it turned out he had paid his friend to follow me home in a car from the university to find out where I lived. He broke into my house one night and assaulted me. Poor thing. Drugged me and left me for dead in my bedroom. Or no, my bathroom, sorry. Fortunately, I woke up many hours later and managed to call 911 before passing out again. He was prosecuted, but I had to drop out of my grad program. Lord almighty, I am so sorry that happened to you. Like, guys are scary and creepy and weird, and I'm so sorry. Like, I am so sorry. I hope you're doing better, and I'm sorry you had to drop out of your program because of this mother effer. I am so sorry. I hope you're doing so much better now, and I hope that, like, he's having a shitty time in jail. Like, I hope he's bad in jail. So, moving on. So, a man I worked with was super nice to me. He was nice to everyone, but a little more with me. Everyone told me he was into me, talked him up, and convinced me to go out with him. At the time, I was just getting out of a manipulative, toxic relationship, so I wasn't looking for anything serious. After a couple of casual dates, I told him I wasn't interested in being someone's girlfriend at the moment. This nice guy flipped the fuck out. Sorry, because he got out of the car and started screaming, laughing, crying, and was throwing things. We were in his car and weren't near my home or any of my friends' homes, so I just sat in silence until he got back in the car and decided to drive me home. The very next day, he acted like nothing had happened and showed up at my front door. I still don't know how he got past the security gate. He basically stalked me for 2 months until he finally gave up. See, so that's when you go out with, like, a nice guy, they eventually show their true colors and they act nuts, and it's terrifying and scary. So girls and guys, be careful out there because people are fucking crazy. I know I keep getting a drink. It's just because my throat is so dry. Anyway, that was my breakfast. I'm sorry this video is getting long, and I have only read 3 stories so far, and there's 15. I had a 24-year-old coworker when I was 17 years old. He was weird, but nothing I couldn't handle. Once I needed a ride home, I didn't live in an area that was bus line friendly, and this was in 1998, so I didn't have a cell phone. He offered, and I reluctantly accepted. The ride was fine, just small talk. When we arrived, I thanked him and went to undo my seatbelt. He tried to kiss me. I pulled back and just stared at him in what was probably confusion and disgust, then got out of the car. I told my manager I wasn't comfortable working with him, and his reply was, "He's a nice guy. He meant no harm." I'm sorry if you're scratching. That's my cat outside the window. She's going to have to wait a minute. A few weeks later, I was dozing at my boyfriend's house in a hammock on the back patio. I woke up to my coworker inches from my face. Sorry, I can't talk. Staring at me and breathing hard. He said, "I just wanted to watch you sleep, nothing else. I'm a nice guy." He had sat outside my boyfriend's house and waited for me to get in the shower so he could sneak in and watch me. 2 weeks later at work, Mr. Nice Guy was hit with 4 sexual harassment slips, all from women under 18 years old. I didn't know that one because I didn't read it beforehand, but trigger warning, sexual harassment. Sorry, guys. I didn't know because this is my first time reading it. The first 2 I read, though. So I'm just going to skim this just in case. I don't see anything that's, like, bad on this one. Okay. A friend and I were at a Halloween event on campus in college when we saw a guy sitting alone, and I felt bad for him, so I asked if he wanted to join us. My friend and I were 19 and he was 26. I was severely naive at the time. We all started hanging out quite regularly, and things were going okay. But in hindsight, there were a lot of red flags. He began asking me out, and I let him down easy because my friend was into him. They went out on a date, and apparently he forced a kiss on her, so she wasn't interested anymore. We all hung out again, and soon after he started asking me out again. I finally decided to firmly tell him that I wasn't interested, and didn't think I ever would be. He went on this long tangent about how no one ever wanted to give him a chance, and the last girl he dated broke up with him because her friend brainwashed her into thinking he was a creep. Excuse me. Sorry, guys, I'm burping and stuff. Excuse me. I felt super uncomfortable, so I left and distanced myself from him. A few months later, I decided to sign up for online dating. He found my profile, lied about his age to appear younger, and sent me a message. I ignored and blocked him. He created a new profile and sent another similar message. Same result, ignored and blocked. After the 5th time, I've had enough and finally just went off on him. He called me crazy and said I was overreacting. He said something along the lines of, "Sorry I bothered you. I just wanted to treat you like the princess you are, but I guess no one likes a Prince Charming anymore. Barf." No, she doesn't like you because you're being a creep. She told you she wasn't interested and you just kept on. And when she went off on you, you called her crazy. And that's why some women are afraid to stand up for themselves because they're afraid they're going to be called crazy. I'll let my cat in after this video, but she keeps clawing at the thing. That's why women are afraid to stand up for themselves, because you guys call us crazy for standing up for ourselves and stuff. Like, these guys call us crazy when they're the ones that were acting crazy and being creepy and annoying. So anyway, let's just get on to the next one. 6. I'm on number 6. There's 15 of these and I'm still on number 6. I didn't mean for this video, I wanted it to be long, but I wanted to do more than one article, but I don't think I can. Maybe in the next video I pre-film or something. At my first job, I was 16 years old. My male co-worker was 27 and engaged to a woman across the country. In the kitchen, he made every excuse to walk as close to me as possible so he could touch my back or waist. He constantly complimented me, which would be fine if he didn't take it too far by only complimenting my body or perceived attractiveness to other men. When he was going to visit his fiancée in Florida, he offered to buy me a gift from the Harry Potter amusement park and asked for my address to mail it to me instead of just bringing it to work. Every time I complained to management, I was told he's harmless, he's just being nice, give him a chance. No, he's an adult, and I was a child. I hate when management does that because I've read other stories about, women feeling uncomfortable and the management did nothing about it until it was too late. So, yeah, I just don't like that. I met a guy through a dating app and we both agreed that there wasn't that spark. He fronted that he was a nice guy and okay with rejection. He became one of my best friends and my closest guy friend. One day, we were all hanging out, getting day drunk. I left early. 4 hours later, my best friend called to say that our guy friend had suddenly attempted to kill her by choking her, all the while screaming about how she was ruining everything for him. She managed to throw him off and force him to run out of the house. Police were called and he was booked into a psychiatric hold. That is crazy. That guy was definitely crazy and in serious need of help, so, yeah. In college, a guy asked me and my friends to go to an event, a group hangout, pretty normal occurrence. A few hours before the event, my roommate pulled me aside. She told me that he'd called her and told her she wasn't invited anymore. I confirmed with all the others invited. He called them all and told them they weren't invited anymore, all except for me. He was trying to trick me into going into an event solo with him. I went into his room. We lived in a house with dorm rooms to confront him and saw that he had a photo of me taped to his wall. I ripped it down and ran away. That's very, very scary and creepy. It's not the worst story, but it's unnerving. Yeah. Luckily, you found out before that happened. Hold on, cat. I'm almost done. My roommate's boyfriend was a self-proclaimed nice guy. One night after they drank, he came into my room and laid on my bed while I didn't have a top on. I told him to leave. 2 minutes later, I heard my door open and he was standing in my doorway naked, walking towards my bed. I screamed, kicked him out, and told my roommate he was never allowed in our apartment again. That is weird and creepy. I went to meet a guy I met online back in the day at his place. Yeah, dumb, I know. On my way to see other friends, he was super creepy, and I got out of there as soon as I could. But he got mad at me because he was such a nice guy, and I didn't appreciate it. So he posted my number in chat rooms posing as a single girl so I would get spammed with calls. I told each guy that called what happened and they shut it down fast. Somehow I didn't get any more calls. Some of those guys had your back. They were like, oh, so that's what happened. Okay, you're good. We got you. I was on the website 7 Cups, which you can use to speak to people called listeners about your problems. Excuse me. I found someone who looked nice, and I started talking about my relationship issues. He wasn't helping. Instead, he was talking about how he was a nice guy and how every girl cheated on him. I was so confused. Then he said maybe I could be his girlfriend after messaging online for less than a day. Then he said he had stuffed animals that he cooked and cleaned with and that he named. I ghosted. He was so upset about being a nice guy, and was super creepy. He had a lot of good reviews from others who messaged him, and I felt lied to. Yeah, because he was being creepy to you. Like, why wasn't he being weird with some of the other people? I don't understand. Like, some people just are creepy to certain people. I don't get it. I don't understand. But it is what it is, I guess. At least you got out of that real quick. I joined a new company, and for the first 6 months, a coworker kept sending me helpful work-related texts, touching me on the arm as they greeting, and coming over to talk to me whenever he could. I thought he was being friendly since I was new and didn't think much of it. I was just glad I had someone around my age to talk to at work. However, he started in on gift giving, excessive physical contact, and even found out where I hiked on the weekends and showed up there. I didn't have a specific hour when I would hike, so he would show up at my hiking spot and wait there for hours until I got there. He then would follow me down the hill, going on and on about relationships really loudly until I got embarrassed. I stopped hiking, and he started calling me during weekends and after work hours, all whilst avoiding me at work. And I heard from colleagues that he thought I led him on and that I gave hints that I liked him back, when the hint was me borrowing his phone once to use the calculator because mine was dead. Oh my god, that guy's crazy. That guy is crazy. There was a guy I met online. We talked for a solid 2 years before I told him my last name or the city I lived in. Sorry, let me just get that. Or the city I lived in. He was incredibly sweet, always remembered things I told him, and made a point to ask about my day or how my interview went, etc. Stop being stupid. Sorry, it just told me my battery was low, and this kept going up and down and being weird. So let's see. Okay. So he was incredibly sweet, always remembered things I told him, and made a point to ask about my day or how my interview went, etc. I kept any real info to myself out of sheer paranoia, not because he'd done anything to make me feel uncomfortable. One day I decided to just go for it and tell him my last name and the city I was in. At some point or another, I decided to cut off contact for reasons I can't even recall anymore. About a week or so later, my mom came into the house looking confused, so I asked what was wrong. She said there was a teddy bear in our mailbox and a letter with my name on it with no postage. He literally found my home address and wrote me some huge love letter saying he didn't understand why I chose not to talk to him anymore, how he loved me, etc. It gave me the creeps so bad to think he went out of his way to find me like that, and he had been outside my house. That's one thing I will not stand for, is if a guy just shows up at my house and I don't know him and I didn't invite him over here. Like, I will literally kill somebody if they just show up to my house. I don't even care. Maybe not actually kill them, but they would be in trouble. I would call the cops, honestly. Don't show up outside my house. That's a no-no. This nice guy decided we were soulmates after one date. He sent me over 100 texts a day after the date, building up to one telling me he would kill himself if I didn't go out with him again. Sorry, I didn't know if that was in there. Trigger warning for suicide talk. And there's more talk about it. He followed up the suicide threat with telling me he wasn't going to leave his girlfriend and I would just have to be a grown-up and share him. When I blocked him, he called me crazy to our mutual friends. That dude sounds like he's the one that's crazy. Yeah, that guy's crazy. Okay, we're finally at our last story, number 15. I want to do a long video soon, like just talking about creepy guy stories. Like maybe an hour-long video. I don't know, maybe I might do that. And save it for Halloween, but we'll see. I may upload it soon, though. And finally, I got a smoothie with a classmate to discuss end-of-semester projects and plans over break. After we finished talking about our projects and papers, he launched into a whole half-hour rant about how all women were bitches and whores and teases who wouldn't sleep with him. And I was about to leave, he literally said, "But you're not like the other girls," and asked me out. When I let him down gently with an, "I'm sorry, but I only like you as a friend," he immediately called me a bitch, just like all the other B words, and stormed off. Good riddance. Yeah, that guy was seriously crazy. I hate when guys call people bad names, like, especially women. I mean, I'm sure they've done it to men, too. Like, gay men probably do it to other gay men as well. But I hate when they call people names, especially women. Like, you call them B words because they don't want to date your ugly ass. Like, you're creepy and weird and wrong for that. Definitely wrong for calling her names when she didn't want to date you. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I gotta go let my cat in now, and I will see you guys in the next one. I wanted to do more than one article, but I took so long talking and stuff, so that's why it was a little bit, it wasn't as long as I wanted it to be, and I didn't get to another article. But that was 15 stories, so that was pretty good. So I'm gonna go let my cat in. Bye, guys. Love you.